What's going on, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to the official premiere of Going Smack Radio. For those who may not know, Going Smack is just a little term we use here in the DMV of, trying to approach or holler at someone that we're interested in, get their name, number, so on and so forth. So this show is going to approach topics involving relationships, intimacy, situationships, sex, and everything else under the sun from both the male and female perspective. Also here at Going Smack Radio, we encourage raw perspectives from everyone on our show, regardless of gender and or sexual orientation. Make sure to subscribe, whether you're watching via YouTube or listening through whichever podcast service you're rocking with. Hope you enjoy the show. Yes, sir. Like I said before, this is Going Smack Radio. So today, for our first official guest, we have a special guest in the building today. We got the lovely and beautiful Miss Bri. Now, Bri here is a beauty enthusiast, right? She owns her own business platform out of Baltimore, Maryland. And before I get into it, I'm gonna let her, explain a little bit about what she does.
So, I have a business. I make custom machine-made wigs. Frontals, closures, whatever you need, wig reconstruction, all that. all that. I also provide makeup services, and my specialty is natural glam. So if anybody's interested, please feel free to hit me up on Instagram. My business page is Beauty Fanatic, BEAUTIE FANITIC, and that's my name. So feel free to follow me, hit me up, and get right to it.
Don't judge her on the spelling. We've been drinking a little bit. But I'm going to drop her IG page. If you're viewing our show via YouTube, I'm going to go ahead and drop her social media platforms below in the description. And if you're listening, you heard her spell it out for you. So like I said, we've been, sipping a little bit. Listen, on my show, I like all my guests to get in their element. Whether you drink, smoke, roll, whatever you got to do, I need you in your zone. We've been sipping a little bit. What you been sipping on?
I have sangria.
Sangria. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's that good stuff right there. That Capriccio. Listen, remember when Capriccio first came on the market?
I remember.
And it was
the big deal. It was all on social media. Like everybody was like, "Oh yeah."
It was like the Popeye's chicken sandwich as far as hype.
Yes,
and everybody rushing to get to it.
Exactly.
And rightfully so, because I say like a good 2-3 cups of this stuff, and
ready.
You ready for whatever comes at you. Me, if you know me, I'm a Henny dude. I'm ready for any situation. That's because it's a Henny situation. I've been sipping on a Henny, which is good stuff. Now, Henny is good and bad for the soul. Bad as in good as in because, in my opinion, Henny is good for one of three things. It's either good for fighting, dancing, or making babies. I mean, and that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? We ain't hiding from the truth. But, you know what I'm saying? Speaking of making babies, we're going to get straight into it on Going Smack Radio today. Speaking of making babies, it seems like within the past 3 months or so, especially, everyone is pregnant, at least our age. We're 24, 25. You know what I'm saying? I say at least from the 23 to 26-year-old range. It seems like everyone within the past few months or so is pregnant. Now, it's not a bad thing as much because we're at that age right now where, we're kind of preparing for it, kind of expecting it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's not like, teenage pregnancy, teen mom pregnancy where it comes out of nowhere and
we're past that at this point.
Exactly. It's not life altering.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's no problem at all. And maybe it's just me as far as this, but it seems like everyone I know that's pregnant at the moment, majority are having boys.
Yeah, it seems that way. I don't know what's in the water.
It's not just me.
It seems like a lot of people are having boys. I have one friend that has a girl and she's beautiful. But
shout out to baby girl.
Yes. Shout out to baby Adriana. I hope you see this. But Yeah, a lot of people are having boys, and it's crazy because so many people are pregnant. I'm just like, dang, what is going on? I don't know if it's that time of year or what, but everybody is like, yeah, baby on the way.
Listen, they say when the weather drop below 50, it's cuffing season. I believe it.
Yeah, that's why we got all these spring babies for the next year. Like, yeah,
I believe it.
Baby made in the winter.
and speaking of that, it's crazy because I did the science, I did the math one day, and I realized something. Sagittarius, I want y'all to realize something. We're Valentine's Day's babies. Like, if you're a Sagittarius like me, I was born 9 months after Valentine's Day. So, you know what I'm saying? My mom's got some explaining to do off of that one because that's crazy. Like, if you were born in a cold, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Sagittarius babies, we got to holler at our moms about something. But didn't mean to go off track a little bit. So, yeah, like I said, it's mostly boys in the air for the most part. What will be, like, your preference as far as having boys or girls when the time comes?
Wow, I'm like super, super girly. You know, every beauty fanatic is my Instagram name. So anything under that umbrella is right up my alley. So of course I would love to have, you know, pretty little babies that look just like me. I know a lot of girls apparently like having sons because apparently, like, you know, boys, you know, they look out for their mom. And I never thought about it that way. My parents have 2 girls, so it's just us 2, and I'm a daddy's girl. But I love my mom as well. But I want, you know, little girls. And most of my family, majority of us have girls. So that's the only thing I've ever known. I didn't see a baby, little boy until I was probably like, I think I was maybe 18 years old when I saw like a little boy.
And your family?
And like changing them, yeah. Because I was like, oh gosh, what's that? But because before that, I'd never seen that. So we have a lot of girls in our family. And I love girls.
So that was your first time seeing a baby boy with the swollen balls and all that?
Bruh, the penis. And I was like, oh.
It's real at birth.
What's that?
Everything is swollen at birth.
What does that mean? The balls were huge. And like I unwrapped the baby and I took the little pamper down. I was like, whoa. What?
Straight dropped on you. Guagoosh.
And she was like, that's his stuff. My cousin. And I was like, I think you need to get him checked out.
You thought somebody hit a hacky sack in his back or something, huh?
Little girls are born, you know, everything is the way it is until we get old. Only thing grow is our body and our boobies. That's it. Right. Everything is where it needs to be at all times, contained. Right. There it is. And little boys apparently aren't like that. And it was just like, yikes. So it's all of that. Okay, anyways.
Respect that. Me, on my side of the family, it's all boys. So as far as me and my first cousins and even second cousins, you could throw them into the mix. It's 1 girl. And it's about, 8 boys? It's 8 boys, 1 girl. And even, you know, moving past that with, you know, all of my first cousins, you know, we're at the age where we're having, you know, kids now and so on and so forth. And it's been 1 girl and the rest boys. You know what I'm saying? Wow. But, you know, who's to say what comes after that? Because it's only been 2. It's been a boy and a girl. But besides that, to start off, as far as me and my first cousins, it was 8 boys and 1 girl. So the next generation after that, you know, we don't know. So far, it's even 1-1, 1 boy, 1 girl. So we'll see, you know, where it gets to past that point. So I want to ask you something, Bri.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, having kids, pregnancy, the whole forth, where do you stand as far as, you know, timing and standards? What's your take on you personally when the time comes, you know, being prepared to bring in a new life into your life?
First of all, that's super scary. That's like
who you telling?
The biggest step of like a woman's life. Apparently, according to research, one of the biggest fears a woman has is childbirth. So that's super scary. But ideally, if I was to, you know, start my family and all that other stuff, I'd be married first. Maybe we, you know, we date for a couple years, we get married, maybe 2 years or so, and then we possibly have babies. But I think it's really important that, you know, we're married and, you know, I'm sure that's the person. Because, like, at the end of the day, we all know that relationships don't always work out. So, in my mind, if we can thug it out for a couple of years, maybe we can be sure that that is the person I think I might want to start my family with. And because like I said, having a baby is so scary. And, like, I'm the one that have to do it. In the relationship, it's going to be me. Right. So, it's like, before I have a baby with somebody, I want to make sure, like, hey, are you going to be there? Are you going to be with me? Are we going to do this together? Right. Are you plan on just doing whatever you want? Or, like, what? Like, I need to know right now. So it's really important that we have that commitment before the law, before God, before that we have that. And then we can talk about, starting a real family, and then I would feel comfortable doing that. My parents have been, I'll be 25 this year. My parents were married for 26 years. So I grew up with, a married parent but dynamic. That was my life. That is my life. So I don't know any different. And for me, that's what works. And that's what I've seen, and I want to grow up and be my mom. I want to have what she had. And she was, at this point, she had me by the time she was my age. But it has all worked. It's still working. So it's just like, that's something that I would want. I don't want to just be, I'm not trying to talk down on women who are just baby mamas or they're not married or whatever. That's fine if that's what works for you. But I grew up knowing different, and I want that. I want the big house and the white picket fence. I want all that and with everything that goes with it.
Respectfully so. And it's a good point that you made as far as, you're the one that has to give the kid. It's maybe a stretch, but me personally, I think a small part of the reason why there's so many, abandoned fathers out here in the world is because mothers, y'all have to sit with the baby in your stomach for 9 months. Yeah. You know what I mean? Y'all have the umbilical cord connected to your body. So that's a personal connection of jump that you'll have with the baby before it even comes to the world. So, that's that as far as, what I see from the outside looking in. But, like you said, your parents had a marriage, growing up 26 years. So all your life have.
Yes, have a marriage.
Have. I said had?
You said had. It's okay.
Correction, have. So that's all that you've witnessed your whole life growing up. Right. So it's been transparent. Yeah. And, I say from day one until what? 18, 20, 22, even 16, we're sponges from our parents, from what we see our parents, taking in. So that was transparent.
Absolutely.
From what you've seen. So I like to, give a shout out to your parents for that. Because that's
Angie and Brian. Woo, my name's Brianna. Where that came from.
Angie and Brian, AB. Shout out AB. We ain't talking about old boy from the Steelers because he on some... But shout out to AB, real talk.
But yeah, having that transparent household, you see the certain different obstacles. For instance, recently, I'm 24, turned 25. My sister is 20 this year. So it's like you see the transition of my parents transitioning from, high school kids. Let's take them to sports. Let's do this. The world revolves around our kids versus our kids are out the house and now it's me and you. So I've seen them transition into that, and I know that it's difficult for them as well as any couple because it's just so different. The majority of their relationship has been about us, and now it's okay. So it's me and you now. What are we gonna do? Right. But I will say, being able to witness that, it makes me a little bit more prepared because I'm like, okay, this is something that I need to consider. When I'm looking at somebody that I want to lay down and have a baby with, okay, do we get along outside of that other stuff? Mm-hmm. Are me and you good in real life?
me personally, I think a good timetable estimate as far as whether you really feel you could, 1, marry this person, and 2, have a baby by this person, I say 3 years. That's good. I've been in one relationship my whole life. Go ahead, say what you want. And it happened at 21 years old. And I dealt with that person on and off for 4 years. But I say after 3 years, you truly understand the ins and outs of that person. So I think 3 years is a good number as far as, do I want to marry this person? Do I want to have a kid by this person? Because a kid, it's going to be, a lot of people say 18 years, like Kanye said, 18 years. No, that's for life. Yeah. Can you be somewhat, whether significant or huge, tied to this person for the rest of your life via a child? Right. Is that what you can see? And I think it takes 3 years to truly determine that. I don't,
No, I think so too. And it's crazy enough. Like I said, my parents been married almost 26 years this year, and they knew each other something like 6 months before that they had gotten married, moved. My parents were married in April of 1994.
Lay it on.
And I was born in May of 1995.
Lay it on.
So they,
Lay it on.
So they got married, hopped right to it, had me right away, and was like, what's up? And here they still are. So
here they still are. I respect that.
In my mind, I'm like, yeah, a couple of years. But I guess in reality, apparently when you know, but I think it takes work too, as opposed to just, oh, well, it didn't work out. So I think you
Right.
definitely have to put in a lot of work, but it's hard to say. But ideally, in my mind, 3 or 4 years is a good time period, as where it's like, yeah. That's
You have to be willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
And, just all in all, the effects on a female from having both parents in a picture growing up, especially married, I think that's huge. Here sitting talking to you, even before this, we had a brief talk about the subject matter. And, just hearing you talk and hearing, other female individuals who may not have the luxury of having both parents, especially married, in the picture their whole lives, you can definitely see the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say, that it has a very positive effect. And maybe that's more so coming from the father figure, showing the daughter, what you should look forward to, and the male figure, in the long run, to look forward up to. And I say that's pretty big. I definitely say that's pretty big.
I agree 1,000%. My dad is like the man. When I think of, my ideal guy, he has so many characteristics that are, very similar, if not spot on, to my dad.
Right.
Now, granted, I know that there are a lot of couples who stay together just because of their kids, and they don't necessarily love each other, don't want to be with each other. But my parents do love each other. I mean, I feel that they do.
Right.
And so, a lot of guys that I like have characteristics that are very similar to my dad. Or same thing, I'm thinking, before I can even bring this man home, I need to know off bucks. Can I let him meet my dad? Is my dad going to be disappointed in my choice of this man? And it is a big decision, because he has set a standard where I'm just like, certain shit is just not going to be it.
Right.
It's just not enough. It's not. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You don't want to treat me like this. Shit. My daddy can do that. So it's like...
My daddy can do that.
My daddy can do that.
And honestly, I forgot where I read it at. But, it kind of goes the same for males. Like, we kind of, when we date a young lady, we, expect to see certain characteristics that may be similar to our moms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it definitely go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
But speaking of females and, fathers, what we look forward into, or what you guys look forward to, towards your fathers, maybe towards more so females who may only have one side involved in their lives. Mom. They only have the mom involved in their lives. We're talking females here. It's a lot of females out here, and I can attest to this. It's females out here, that may have certain issues that they're dealing with in their lives that come from daddy issues. Like, daddy issues is big. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Father figures that aren't involved in their daughters' lives. Honestly, I feel that has more of an effect on a daughter's life than it does than their sons.
You think so? I
think so. And the reason I say this is because a son can learn, about a female through his mom. Me personally, the only thing I really learned through my mom, which was effective. Me growing up, the only thing I've ever heard was, from my mom, who was a single mother growing up. My father wasn't in the picture, and she always preached to me and my 3 brothers was, don't bring no babies home. We never had the sex talk, birds and bees, none of that. You know what I mean? But it was never, don't have no babies. Don't have no babies. It'll, alter your life. You'll have to, account to everything that you do towards your baby. It was always, don't have no babies. And that really stuck to me, since she'd been telling me that since like 14 or 15. So it really stuck. And she's always told me, what to expect from females. Now, as far as fathers and the daughters' lives, it just gives them, like you said, you know what to look forward to when dating because of your father. Females that don't have that, they don't know what to look forward to. So they just try to substitute that as far as, just finding somebody that they can somewhat kind of replace that void that they don't have in their life as far as a father figure.
Yeah, as a man, as a male.
As a man, period. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, in my opinion, what leads to a lot of daddy issues. Because, I've dated a few females, in the past who, how do I say this? It was something slightly off, just slightly off. Not nothing, significantly off. Like, oh, this chick is crazy, but it was just slightly off. Like, okay, what is it? You know what I'm saying? It's some type of void that isn't filled. And it was a daddy issue. The girl didn't have a father figure in her life, so she was looking for something to fill that void. You know what I mean? Some type of controlling figure, good or bad.
And that's the issue. That's the issue. If you don't have that, like I said, I've been blessed enough that I have a good guy, a good man that I can look up to, that, you know, treats my mom good, so I can see what a good relationship is. Treats us good, obviously, me and my sister. But it's like, if you don't have that, you might go anywhere looking for any kind of male attention. And it's like, don't get me wrong, like, we still make mistakes. We all still make mistakes regardless. We all choose the wrong guy once or twice.
Right.
But at the same time, you know, I already know off bugs, like, okay, this is not gonna work.
Right. And like a dude, this wasn't me per se, but say like a dude, you know, that he didn't have his father figure in life, and his mom was just, you know, a little bit on the loose side. So he's always used to seeing dudes in and out the house. You know what I mean? He's going to grow up not respecting father figures, or not respecting male figures, I should say. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that may lead to, you know, bigger trouble down the line. It definitely has some type of effect. So, you know, just real quick, you know, father figures, be in your daughter's lives, sons' lives too, be in both child's lives. But I personally feel that, you know, the male figure, it's more significant that they're in the daughter's lives than the male. Now, if they're not in the male, you know, may not grow up knowing how to fight, or, you know, not knowing, you know, the ins and outs of what to look for in relationships. That's cool. All silly shit. But the female, you know, growing up is more so going to look for something to fill that void. And it may be good or bad. They don't know. So, you know, that's just my take on it. But we're going to go ahead and flip it to the opposite end of the spectrum on this matter and talk about, you know, dudes with mommy enabling issues, because that's very real too.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, dating in this world, this year, whatever, you meet, like you said, there are a lot of single moms out here, whatever, and a lot of men that I meet do have single moms, and that's fine. But sometimes you do have mothers that enable certain behaviors or certain stuff that you just like, okay, this is not all right. Why is she letting this happen? But they don't know any better because their mom has always let this happen. Or their mom, you know, is like, oh, well, my mom will take care of this. Or, well, you need to do this because my mom does that. And it's just like, I'm not your mama, baby. Right. I like you, but look. Let them know. It's only so much I can do because I'm not your mother.
Right.
I'm supposed to be your partner, not your mama. Right. If you have mommy issues, you need to go talk to her. Right. Because I can't. That ain't me. I'm not here to be your mama. I'm having somebody else's mama sometime. So sorry. So they say, you know, I've seen this on social media a few times actually. They say behind every toxic dude is a toxic enabling mother behind him, and that may be where it comes from. You know, let's say, you know, most toxic dudes, they come from a single parent home, mother. No father figure in the house, and the mom, you know, kind of babies them more than they would if a father figure was in the house, and they'd be like, hold up, we ain't doing that. Yeah. Like, he ain't about to be brought up off that. I've met a lot of guys who get mad if you don't give them everything they want when they want it. It's just like, well, sweetheart, you're not 3 years old. I don't know what you want me to do. You're a grown man, and I'm a grown woman, and I'm not your mother. So I'm not here to provide everything to you. That's not my job.
Right.
That's not my job. I have a job. It's a small job, but I have a job, and that ain't it. So it's like, you know, I don't know what you want me to do or say because I'm not going to be able to give that to you. And because also, like I said, back to me having two parents. I've had different and I've had better. I already know that's not it. So it's like, you're not about to sit here and convince me that I'm supposed to do whatever you say, and you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. What's your job? You telling me my job. What's yours? I want to know. I'm waiting. So, yeah, it definitely, you know, it can be like, ugh, this sucks.
It can be overwhelming, huh?
Yeah.
See, me personally, I have 3 brothers, and all of us grew up, you know, raised by a single mother. But we never dealt with that issue. You know, my mom was never soft on us. She told us how it was. Every factor, you know, that it came to, as far as, you know, dealing with life, period. Not just, you know, dealing with a significant other, but jobs, relationships,
Everything.
as far as, dealing with someone, not just intimate relationships, everything. So we never dealt with that. But I've definitely seen it, moms that's like, okay, baby, you want this? So giving them that's what they expect all the time. If they don't get that, then they going
And it's crazy because
flip out.
I'm a daddy's girl, for sure. My dad has always given us what we wanted. Maybe not right away. We have to beg for a little bit. My dad's the type to write a paragraph as to why you deserve this.
Yeah, it's different.
But anyways, you end up getting it. So when I used to meet, guys my age and older that were like that, like, oh, they just expect to get everything they want. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, what like, I'm confused because
blame the father for ducking off.
What? This is what I'm used to, and how dare you come at me with the same energy? Like, no, that's not how this works.
Woman
so it's
raised.
definitely strange. Yeah. And I mean, and it's sad, and it's like I don't want to blame the mother because I don't think it's quite her fault. Maybe she don't know how to
not at all.
give
it's
that balance. I don't think
off.
it's her fault, but it definitely creates a young man who may have some issues for real. May have some issues, and it's just like, okay, we need to get this in check.
We need to get some things situated. I feel on that. So, pretty much we're saying that, mommy enablers may lead to the creation of a crazy, guy or whatever we want to call it. That is what it is. But we're going to go ahead and use this to move on to our next segment of our show called Crazy X Stories. Crazy X Stories is pretty self-explanatory. We're going to ask our guests about a Crazy X story, just something they may have went through with a crazy ex that they would like to share that they, haven't really put out there like that. But, I mean, it's good for all causes. We really should know about crazy situations going on so we can better prepare for them. So, it's the first week. It's personally one of my favorite segments. It's Crazy X Stories, so it's only right that we bring it out for Bri. So
take a sip.
Go ahead and take a sip. I'll take one with you. Go ahead. I'll take one with you. Cause we about to get into that ass like preparation H. All right. Crazy X Stories. First, I'm gonna ask you, Bri. Do you have a Crazy X story?
Unfortunately, I have been victim to a crazy ex. Unfortunately.
Happens to the best of y'all. So
it does.
I'm going to go ahead and let you lay it out for him.
Okay. So it's currently January of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
In January of 2019, okay, a whole year ago, almost 1 year ago to the day, I broke it off with this guy that I had been seeing. He wasn't my boyfriend, but we had been, talking at that point, maybe 5 to 6 months, I would say. Everything was cool. However, I noticed some tendencies that were a little bit jealous and insecure, every time we go out, I'm a bartender too. So, by default, I can talk to strangers. I'm a friendly enough girl, whatever.
Right.
Hey, what's that drink? Hey, what's that something? Whatever. I'll talk to people.
You're communicative with other people.
Easy.
That's good.
I get paid to do that. So
that's good.
By default, it's my nature. That was always a problem. Oh, you're too flirty. You're too this. You're too that. It's like, okay, whatever. So I broke up with him January of 2019. Don't want to see him no more because at that event, he had got mad at me over something I did. And I was like, you know what? Forget you. Something I did, quote unquote. Allegedly flirting with someone, I guess. I don't know, some bullshit. Whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm done with that. I gotta go. So, I don't talk to him for a while. I'm not talking. He's been trying to talk to me, pretending that things are back better and he's a better person. Lie. I'm just like, yeah, I'm actually great on you. So thank you for your update of your life. Appreciate that. Good to know you're doing well, but gotta go.
You threw the
November. Gotta go. I should have sent a pic like that.
Right.
November of 2020. I'm on a very first date with this. Oh, yeah. Damn, I'm sorry, y'all.
All good.
The wine. 2019.
We just got
I'm
here.
on a date. Yeah, we did just get here. Yeah. 2019. I'm on a date with this guy. I had just met him the first date. We go to hookah bar. I'm telling him, like, he's like, oh, you know how you feel about relationships? I was like, look, I was with somebody crazy, so I ain't trying to do that.
Yeah.
Literally telling him, we go to this other spot to get one drink. We got one drink, and I ordered an egg roll. My ex, crazy ex, walks to the door, and I was like, damn. There he go right there. Yikes. He walks past me about 6 times. So at this point, there's nothing that you need from the top of the bar to the bottom that could possibly call you back 6 times.
Right.
So clearly you're here to make eye contact with me. We've seen each other.
Yeah, he wanted to be known that he was
wanted
in the
to be
building.
known and that I know him and he knows, okay, we got it. Thank you. So then he posts up in the opposite side of the bar from me. So I'm just like, okay, what the hell does he want? He gets the bartender to purchase me a drink. She makes it, she sits there for me. I'm like, what's this? She's like, oh, that guy, got it for you. I was like, okay, well, I didn't ask for that, but thank you. I go to the bathroom. He tells the first date, this man, oh, if you break her heart, I'm gonna fuck you up. Sir, first date. That wasn't really warranted, necessary, any of that, really.
So when you came back, the dude that you was on a date with told you what happened?
Yes, he told me, and I was just like, okay, we might have to go soon. But then the ex left. This is, almost, it's not quite closing time. Bars close maybe, 2 o'clock? It's maybe 1 o'clock. He leaves, and me and my date leave about maybe 1:30.
Okay.
So we're, and my date is a little bit lit. Like I said, I'm a bartender, so I can drink a little bit. I can at least handle myself. So I was like, hey, let's sit in my car, drink some water, listen to some music, whatever, chill out. We're sitting in my car. Why does my ex, that was never my boyfriend, open the door and start punching this man in the face?
Hold on.
Punched him.
Hold on. Before we get to the punch.
So hold up.
You said the dude left, your ex.
Yes.
Left the bar at 1 o'clock. You guys left approximately 1:30. So it's about a good 30 minutes. It was a 30
to 40 minute session that we have been not in contact.
Okay,
so that man was outside lurking, like, oh,
who's that creeping in the window?
Mind you, I have a whole new car. Right. I purchased a new car. I have a new place.
Right.
You don't know anything about me at this point. I'm just Brianna.
He was. Where was y'all at? If you don't mind me asking.
The Golden Dragon in Randallstown.
So
it's lit over there.
Okay. So he was in some alley.
Lurking, sneaking and geeking, lurking,
waiting for y'all to come
on the
out.
side, and I just imagine like on the side of a freaking car, like looking. He sees me and the boy come out, and he like, all mad and shit. We get in the car, we're just drinking the water, relaxing, trying to gather our lives. And he opens the door and starts punching the poor boy in the face. And I was just like, okay, what is going on? Like, I literally see him open the door. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
So you see that door open. It was just like.
I was like, oh. I come out the side of the car. I was like, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. He was like, I don't know. You don't know what you're doing. Why would you do that to that man? You don't know him.
Did the dude that you was on a date with at the time, like, was he able to defend himself? I mean, it sounds like he came from out of nowhere, opened the door, so it was some type of surprise, right?
He couldn't do nothing, that poor man. And first of all, he was really, like I said, it's the first date. He was really like, he was like, kind of like small. A lot smaller than I thought. But small.
So he wasn't the type that lived in the gym.
He wasn't no big guy to be fighting dudes. And it's like, the thing is, the guy that beat him up already, you can look at this poor guy and say, okay, he's probably not about it. So it's just like, why would you try to hit this poor
exactly
boy?
Why
what was the reason? But it's just like, you look like a whole bitch doing that. And it's not cool. It's not a good look.
Right.
And you did all of this, and I still don't like you. Mind you, this is 10 months later. Like I said, I broke up with him in January of 2019. It was currently November when this happened. It's been 10 months. And, what was the reason that you decided, hitting him was the best option? I want to know. You didn't pull him up and ask him nothing. You didn't ask me nothing. But no, to hit him. And it's just like, I ended up calling the cops. I ended up getting like a restraining order. Crazy stuff that I should never have had to do off of some guy that I haven't seen in 10 months.
Right.
A guy that obviously didn't trust me or had some trust issues, whatever. It's just like, so you did all this, you don't trust me, and you beat up some boy for what? So, crazy.
Can I weigh in on this for a second?
Okay.
So we're talking restraining orders, right? We're talking y'all haven't dated, at least on a serious note, for 10 months.
Right.
Prior to this happening.
Yes.
We're talking
No
about
contact.
a dude that waited outside of the bar
Lurking.
in some type of alley or some type of lurking position for at least 30 minutes before
Yes.
y'all came out, right?
Yes, undoubtedly. Yes.
You may not want to hear this, but this whole situation is your fault. Not in a bad way. And don't take it that way. But it is
How?
your fault. Do you want to know how?
On what basis? It's my fault.
I'll let you know on what basis. So the whole point of this happening is because it's a certain thing that was unraveled to this dude.
Which is what?
that box. Listen, I'm gonna say it like this. You put that grade A,
Oh my goodness.
creme de la creme, A++, top of the class box on him. Straight up. Listen, it's nothing that'll drive a man to do more dangerous or deadly behaviors or acts more than grade A box. Now, for those who may not know, and you may not know, it's cool. It's levels to this shit as far as boxes, right? Like Meek said, serious note. So you have some box that's cool. You have some box that's good. You have some box that's like that. And you have some box that's knock them out the park. You, Miss Bri, you laid that knock them out the park on them. That's the only thing that'll have a dude 10 months after our last serious conversation or, connection or whatever, waiting outside a bar in an alley to watch you leave out with your current dude to stock, run up on him and beat him up. You might as well be sponsored by Roddy Ricch at this point. Straight up.
I'm gonna tell him hit me up.
I'm trying to tell you. Listen,
Nah, that's
regular
not cool,
Degler
though.
ain't
That's
doing
not
that.
okay.
It's
That
not
is
okay,
not
but it's a
okay.
fact of the matter. Regular Degler is not doing that. It's levels. Now, regular Degler may have you on some, looking at the dude's social media, right? Some cool stuff may have you looking at the dude's social media. But as far as to wait outside the bar for 30 minutes to watch you come out,
No, at this point, that shit is just ridiculous.
that was that home run,
It's
baby
ridiculous.
girl.
It's ridiculous.
You
It
laid
doesn't
that
even
Barry
matter.
Bonds,
There's nothing else you can
Sammy
say.
Sosa, Ken Griffey Jr. on him. Listen,
There's nothing that can be said to explain or
I'm
justify.
just calling it how it is.
No.
It's like this, right? I say this. This is my personal theory. If I'm wrong, so be it. But this is my personal theory. I say if you go to any random jail or prison, I say 6 out of the 10 inmates are in there over some sort of box that completely altered their life. Now, let's say it's some box that they couldn't get over. Like your story. He couldn't get over that. 10 months passed, he couldn't get over it. So he was ready to die about that. Ready to kill about that. Ready to kidnap about that. That's what it comes down to. Oh, yeah, that's out. We crushed that.
It's over?
Yeah, it's over. Go to post some honey.
Oh.
So, I mean, that's just the fact of the matter is. Now, speaking of that A+ creme de la creme, not all box is good box. It's only the great, top of the class. What do they call that when you graduate high school and you're like the top of the class? What's that called?
It's honor roll. It's graduate with honors. What? Something lauding.
Honor. I don't know. Y'all know what word
the
I'm
hell
looking
is
for.
it?
Don't make me look dumb. Y'all know what Y'all know what word I'm looking
Lying.
for. But that's the type of box I'm talking about right now. Like that's probably about. I
Hey,
say.
look, if y'all are that vulnerable, y'all have to go. Because at this point, it can't be our fault. It just cannot be.
I say 2 out of 10. It's not. No. It's not y'all. It's not our fault. It is your
Y'all
fault.
need to gain some strength and some resilience.
You say that, but here's the thing. Like I said before, not all box is great box. You know what I'm saying? Not all box is great box. That's just the fact of the matter. Now, I'm gonna just use this because I recently watched it. I recently watched The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Right? Nicole Simpson. She was a white girl. And white girls, it don't matter if you're white, Asian, Latino, African, whatever. So Nicole Simpson I never slept with a woman. I mean, of course, she's like, 20 to 30 years older than me for one.
Right.
I've never met the lady, none of that. But I can guarantee you that she had that creme de la creme. She had that top of the class. You know why?
Top of the class.
Because it led to OJ murking 2 people behind it. Like, come on now. It led to OJ murking 2 people behind it. So she had that creme de la creme. Think about it. OJ rolled up on her. OJ rolled up on her with her side dude and was like, nah, this ain't happening. And murked both of them. Make sure that none of them see the light of that twat again. It's because she had that creme de la creme. Nothing leads to anything more dangerous than that A1 box. So yes, your crazy ex story is very crazy. But what's that saying? She get it from my mama? I blame your mama. Straight up. I blame your mother for this. Tinge. I blame your mother for this.
That's not fair. At the same time, I hear what you saying, but y'all need to have some damn resilience or
Don't
something.
you know that we feel it testosterone? Do you know what testosterone
that ain't my
goes
fault.
to?
That ain't my fault. That ain't my fault.
Do you know what testosterone goes to?
Not my fault. I can't. Ain't nothing I can do with that. No, I can't do anything about that. I can't comment on that because look, I would never. Even some dude that I was really impressed over,
with testosterone.
I would because that's just crazy. It's crazy. I'm out here looking crazy. For example, this dude did all that, and I still don't want you. So it's just like you look very crazy.
You think he want to hear that?
You look crazy, and it's like no, there's no hope for us to be friends, acquaintances,
girl.
Possibly go back to what we. No, it's over. You didn't beat somebody up. The poor man, the eye black and blue. Like what?
Listen, you done
crazy.
You done gave him a taste of that forbidden fruit.
No, I take it back. I rescind my invitation.
Ain't no rescind.
Because no.
You know what that shit feel like? I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that.
That's not fair.
But on a more serious note, as far as letting a dude taste of forbidden fruit, which is a rare occasion, I'd like to personally ask you: do you have any sort of time and period as far as reaching that point with a dude? Some females have their own certain set of rules,
like where you let them, where you would want to be
smash.
Yeah, smash.
Yeah, straight up.
Let's cut right to the chase. So, of course, there's the 90-day rule. I don't necessarily think that 90 days or any day really or number of days is like the specific way that you have to go. But I definitely think if it's a man that you're interested in and you really want to, you want him to pursue you the way he should,
right? And
you want to be pursued,
right?
You don't just, I don't think that's the guy you sleep with on the first night.
Okay. I'm sorry. 90-day rule. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So, what was it? Steve Harvey, his book, or Think Like a Man. I think that he puts a 90-day rule. You wait 90 days till you, have sex with a guy or whatever. And it's like, that's cool if that's what you want to do exactly. But for me, it doesn't necessarily have to be 90 days, but it's just like, I got to get to know you a little bit. We have to go on a couple of dates. I need you to show me that you actually are interested in pursuing me seriously before, we do that. Especially if I really like you. If I really like you, I don't want to have sex with you on the first night because I'm the kind of person, first of all, you're easy as hell that I can sleep with you on the first night. Sir, you for everybody. You got that community dick. Gotta go. Bye.
So this goes both ways.
It's everybody.
From
for the streets.
So this goes both ways then. So from the male perspective, as far as, if we, meet a young lady that we're into and she lets us smash on the first night, if we're really into her, it may throw us off a little bit.
Absolutely. And it should. And it should.
Damn, like the first
what
night,
was that?
How many times have you done this? But you saying, sir, if you let me, if we smash on the first night, then you may look at the dude different.
Yeah.
But what if it's not initiated by the dude? What if he's just so charming, towards you that the panties come off the first night?
Hell, the panties may want to come off, but look, if it's the first night and I'm really interested in you,
stay strong.
They have to stay up. You got to put them granny panties on. The period panties, you got to wear them. It'll never happen. I promise. Tip for ladies. It'll never happen. You wear the period panties, it will never happen. Especially if you're really interested in him. Because the thing is, it's just like, you don't want to, you don't, of course, don't want to come off too easy. You don't want him to think that you're easy, but also I don't want him to think that you're easy.
Right.
You know, I want to know that it's something that had to be worked for. You got to take me on a couple of days, goddammit, shit.
Right.
You ain't got to spend $1,000, but hell,
You know
take me somewhere.
It's actually crazy hearing you say that. This is the first time I've heard it. The granny panties rule does work.
I'm telling you.
That does work.
I'm telling you, the granny period panties, you are like, okay, no.
I can speak from personal experience. One day, this was years ago, you know, I was with a young lady and, you know, we tried to get things popping. And I reached and felt some panties that came down beyond her cheeks. And I'm like, yo, these joints silk too.
What is
like,
that?
Yo,
silk?
Silk,
Oh,
yo,
my
granny
gosh.
all the way. You know what I'm saying?
She got him at damn Macy's in the grandma
Granny
section.
all the way. And
In
I'm
the
like,
grandma
yo,
section.
like, I didn't even want to at that point. I'm like, you know
Right,
what?
because you say gotta go.
I'm like,
And
you know what?
the thing is though,
Let's go take a walk
if you
around
trying
the
to
park
get it
after
popping,
dark.
and I know what kind of draws I have on, and they're granny, they're the nature of granny,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say,
That makes sense.
either I need to take these off and go to the bathroom, or I gotta go. So
That makes sense because if I would have felt, and if I would have felt like some type of G-string or thong, I would have been on go. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely makes definitely makes sense. That granny panties things work. So ladies, you know what I'm saying, if you know what I'm saying, if you feel like you have to come to a point where you have to fight the urge on the first night,
yeah, wear them granny panties.
go to
Wear
them granny
period
drawers on.
panties,
Stop
sis.
playing, girl.
The period panties. You know which ones. Mm-hmm. Pull them out.
Now from dudes' perspectives also, you know, it's kind of a debatable discussion as far as, you know, the timeline of when a girl gives up the draws for us, you know, because if too soon, I should say, then we may feel like, okay, she may do this on a regular.
Right.
Now, the common belief I feel that is if you wait long enough, then he may appreciate you more, which may be true for the time. And what I say is this: let's say you're dying of thirst. You haven't drank water in about 3 days. Desert, right? You haven't drank water in 3 days, and you drink contaminated water that has all types of, you know, stuff in it and maybe light brown. If I haven't drank for 3 days, no type of water for 3 days, and I drink this contaminated water, I'm gonna think this is the best thing on earth. Like, wow, this is the best thing ever, right? And say I keep drinking it, and I come across some water that's, you know, Fiji. Right? I'm gonna say sooner or later, okay, this was just a regular degular. This was just water. It's good, but it's better stuff out here. You know what I'm saying? Now that's one perspective to think of it. At the same time, like I said before, not all boxes A1, A+, creme de la creme box. So if you truly come across something that you know what you dealing with, right, and she's a good girl, and it's some box that, you know, just knock them out the park, Barry Bonds into the water type box, then you will know what you're dealing with, right? So you have to know to differentiate the two. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know, not all the time, ladies, you know, making them wait will make them, you know, look at you as some type of saint.
True.
And not all the time giving up on the first date will make them look at you as, you know, some type of skeezer.
You have to use your best judgment. You know what I'm saying? You got to think of, okay, how has this guy talked to me? If he is texting me and talking about some, oh yeah, I'm trying to, okay, that's probably not the one. But, you know, like, it just really depends. You have to really, like, take into consideration, like, okay, how has he talked to me? How was he treating me? If he asked me to go out on dates, what is he doing when we get there? Is he paying for it? Is he asking me what I would like? If he asks me if I'm okay, you know, it's all kinds of stuff. And it's little simple stuff like that really makes a difference. Because a guy that really don't care about you, he not going to ask you if you're all right. He not going to ask you if you need anything. He not going to ask you if you need some water. You've been out to the bar, you need some water. He not asking you about that. He don't care if you're too lit. You know what I'm saying? And what if you are too lit and you have to, you know, stay there at his place? Is he going to take care of you? Is he going to, you know, I don't know. But there's all these things that really just come into consideration.
Everything
and, you know,
adds
you
up.
have to think about all that before you decide that it's time to, you know, either give it up or not or whatever. But it's just like either way, you do have to be secure with yourself to know the consequence, because the reality is you could wait 100,000 days and some guy still might not be shit, and that's fine. That's really okay, because at the end of the day you have to accept the fact that it's like, you know what, whatever, I did that because I wanted to do it and not because it was for you. It needs to be about us, because I mean
it's truly a trial of error.
Yeah,
for y'all.
Trial and error, exactly.
You know, more so for dudes, I'm just being honest, more so for dudes, it's more so hit or miss. You know
I didn't know that.
Not as far as, you know,
know.
giving up the goods, just as far as hit or miss how we truly feel about this woman before and afterwards, you know, intercourse. You know what I'm saying? That's what it truly comes down to. But just to rewind a little bit, just so whether he's going to buy this or not.
Yeah.
What's your rule on, you know, covering a tab as far as first, second, and beyond dates?
Well, I mean, if I was a woman who didn't have a job or didn't have a high-paying job, maybe I'd feel differently. But like at the end, I can pay for it. I think every woman, before you go out on a date or whoever, you should be prepared to pay for what you get. You know what I'm saying? You should be prepared. You should have your little $20, $40 in your bag. You know, if you're going to the bar, you should have your $20, $40 in your purse to cover what you've purchased or what you've asked for. It's definitely very, very, very nice when the man pays, and that is my expectation. That is where the bar is set. But you know, there are certain situations. I'm not saying he got a job. Sometimes he lost his job. Sometimes he's trying to save for a car, whatever. But you have to use your best judgment and figure out, hey, is this man paying for me because he's trying to get my draws, or is he paying for me because he thinks that this is a standard that he should be paying? Right. Because in my opinion, he should be paying. This is a man that's trying to court you. I'm a young lady. You know, you trying to get to me, honey. Fuck, I ain't got to do this work. You trying to get to me. It is your job to approach me and court me and date me as you see fit. You know what I'm saying? I can do whatever I want, but at the end of the day, it is your job to pursue me. So it's like, you know, you have to, as a woman, you have to know that, like, hey, that's your worth. And it's another thing I didn't learn from my daddy. Back to my daddy. Shout out to Brian. You know, you gotta work for what you want, because it's like, I shouldn't have to do all of this stuff and he do nothing. That's not how it works. It should be a two-way street. For example, if he don't have a job and maybe you do, you pay for this, but he provides you this, he do this. It has to be a two-way street. It has to be. You have to be meeting each other halfway. It can't be just one or the other, because either way that won't work. Because either way, he's a gold digger, or she's a gold digger, or he just, you know, just get what he can. It's just like, you gotta meet each other halfway and make it work and come to an understanding. But I do think the guy should pay. Now, don't be wrong, women can pay the tip. Women can pay for what she gets. She can pay for the date. She can. But the man should be prepared to as well. That is his job. That's in the job description. You ask me out to date, damn it, you need to have your credit card ready. Credit or debit, it's ready.
Debit.
It should be ready. Credit, debit,
man.
cash. It should be ready on the table. Ready. When they bring that tab, the tab is the damn little folder. Ready.
Hand it to the dude, huh?
Hand it. And the waitress will put it right in the middle, and he's supposed to grab it. If he don't grab it, sis, you got to go to the bathroom or pretend like you had to go pee real bad and go. Exit. I hope you drove there.
That's cold.
I hope you drove on the date, because it's time to go.
Can I leave my perspective on it?
All right. Go ahead. What is it? Go ahead.
So listen, I'm going to just be straightforward. I'm cheap. You know what I'm saying? I'm not broke. I'm cheap. It's a big difference. Me, when I go on a date, if I ask a young lady on a date, I will pay completely the first date. I will completely pay everything. You know what I'm saying? Movie ticket, dinner ticket, drinks, whatever. After the first date, if we continue and see each other on a second date, so you want to cover your half? That's me. Straight up. Listen. Listen, maybe that's why I haven't been on as many dates as I should have at this point. But that's just what it is. That's how I see it. After the first date, I will completely cover everything. After the second date, I will completely cover everything under my name. After that,
so you say to the lady, "Oh, excuse me, ma'am, this is your half. You asked for this, Y and Z, X, Y, and Z, and this is yours."
Why not? Listen, here's my whole take on it. Right?
I wish he would.
Here's my whole thing. Women, y'all are very powerful. Y'all are very strong.
Glad you know that.
I completely know it. Y'all are, just as equivalent as far as power as the next man is, right? Mm-hmm. Equal rights.
You're right.
Equal rights.
Put that down. Not that
equal pay.
Oh.
So I cover mine, you cover yours. But like I said, maybe that's why I haven't been on so many dates. If that is, then
But I feel, and I get that, because the thing is, like I said, a woman should be prepared to purchase what she has gotten. Mm-hmm. Don't be wrong. If I go on a date with a guy and I have to pay for what I got, I'm not going to be angry, because at the end of the day, I ordered what I did and I was ready for it.
Right. So let's say we go on a date and
it's just chivalry. It's chivalry.
Chivalry is opening the door.
Opening that door.
Opening the door for the building. Opening the car door. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you closing the car door behind you. You know what I'm saying? Lifting your chair out underneath the dinner table before you. You know what I'm saying? You be
lifting chairs. You be lifting chairs, You be lifting chairs.
Listen.
But she gotta pay her half, but you be lifting chairs. So you school her chair, but she gotta pay her half. That's what you're telling me. Yes or no?
Listen.
He don't know, guys.
It's all about equal rights.
This is an update from Brianna.
It's all about equal rights. The female, y'all love equal rights, and I love it too. Honestly,
who said equal rights is the? Hey, look.
Because I feel like y'all, honestly, me personally, I think Hillary should have beat Donald. So I feel like y'all are more than capable.
No, don't get me wrong. We are more than capable, probably more than capable than you guys are. But the issue is you guys are so brainwashed that y'all are the man and y'all just, go ahead and think that. I need you to buy me this and take me here.
I just know that we are equal. I know that y'all are actually more superior. The female, y'all are actually more superior in life than us. Y'all carry our child for 9 months. Y'all are definitely more superior. Y'all are smarter than us. You know what I'm saying? Y'all rule the world.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Absolutely.
Y'all rule the world.
It is a man's world, but I do agree with everything you said.
This ain't a man's world.
It is a man's world. It is a man's world. Everything that has happened in this world
political-wise,
is a man's world. The things that have been established by women. The world. Oh yeah, that's a fact. But the thing is, it's a behind closed doors thing. It's the women that's really making shit go. Mm-hmm. But at the outside, you have a man, and it's like, if people don't know that, it's a man. It's a man. They think the man is the man. He the man, but there's a lady behind him pulling on the strings, making things happen. And that's just the way it is. And unfortunately, that's what it is. And that's why it's so important to find a man who, will value and cherish you the way that he should and treat you the way you need to be treated and pay for the dates. That's why it's important, because it's like all these other things you do. For example, a woman will help you, apply for jobs, get the job, pick out your outfit for the interview, just whatever. Yeah. A woman will help you with all of that. We happily. That is right down my alley.
Long story short, y'all the backbone.
Okay. Always been. So it's like, come on. Y'all need to come correct.
I couldn't agree more, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Besides the fact that, y'all should pay y'all half as far as the second day to be on. But this is Going Smack Radio. We have run out of time for the time being. I'd like to thank everybody that's tuned in. If you're watching via YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. If you're listening via podcast, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe as well. Leave a rating and review. I want your honest rating and review, right? I don't want any cookie cutter, rating and review just because I know you. I want the honest truth, right? We're here for the honest truth. We're here for everything that's raw. I appreciate everybody that's tuning in, whether it's video or audio. And until next episode, this is Going Smack. I'm your host, Davon. This is my lovely co-host for the day, the lovely and beautiful Bri. Thank you for joining me today.
Welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Until next episode, we will catch you. We out. Peace.
Bye.